This is what dreams are made of, at least ours. This journey started way before our channel, way before we owned a boat or even knew how to sail. It started with a dream, a deep desire to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of a life too crowded, and reconnect with the natural world around us, and ourselves, to follow a slightly less conventional path, and see if we could not live a little more deliberate, pure life. To slow down and listen, watch, learn, and be here now. We knew full well, even without ever raising a sail or dropping an anchor, that it was going to take work, dedication, sacrifices at times, and not always be clear or straight. But we assumed, correctly as it turns out, that the days we found with palm tree lined islands, clear water, and stunning sunsets would far outweigh the struggles and hardships endured to get there. We have loved most places we have visited so far, but these are the islands of our dreams, and what makes this all so worth it.
Friends, very nice. Dang it, you know how many times we say, God, I wish I would have filmed that, you know? This one's not really exciting, but it's just, we're doing a little doing projects on the boat today. Erica's working on a video, and now it's like, I have some little teeny gel coat spots that I need to fix. They start small. Here's one, right here, that was the teeniest little thing. It just was like, it's a manufacturer defect. There was a little bubble underneath it, so it was a weak spot, and so something had hit it, and it broke, and so it was the size of a pinhead maybe, and so I started tapping around it, and now look at it. Look how it's just breaking. It's just a joint. It's just how it goes on a boat. You start one little thing, and you're like, I'm just gonna fix this, and then it just, what's the term for it? It just balloons. I mean, I don't have to do this. I could just leave it, but it for sure is just going to happen again. It's definitely a weak point in the fiberglass. I don't know why, but yeah, it's not good. All right, I think I found the end of the line. Let me show you this other spot, very similar to how this one started, and see if this one grows the way the other one did. This is it right here. And it's, all in all, not that bad. And there's nothing wrong with leaving it. It's not like it's gonna soak up water, but I don't want that on my boat, and I have a bunch of little things with gel coat, so I want to get these all kind of taken care of at the same time. All right, not nearly as bad as the other one. It will take a little bit of epoxy under there to build it up a little bit. I don't want to sink that much gel coat in there. It would take like 17 layers. You got to build up the gel coat real thin. It's just a bubble in the fiberglass. They happen on all boats, and over time there's just nothing there to support the gel coat, and it eventually something will hit it, and it'll pop, it'll break, and so no big deal. Fix that today, no problem. What are you cooking? Good looking?
So, just making a few things to take to the beach to have little fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, geez, I don't know what to say.
we've been working really hard, and even before all the hard work, we've been moving. You know, we really haven't slowed down to enjoy life or enjoy nature or anything for like 4 or 5 months.
Easily 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
We've been on a go-go
On a mission
for some time, and
Yeah.
now this is our time to fully decompress, and
What a place to do it in.
being back at the Tuamotus is perfect for that.
Yeah.
I'm so
It
happy.
almost is obligatory.
It
when
really
you're here.
is. I mean, after all that we've done and gone through in the last 4 months, it's been a wild, wild ride. And
Yeah.
this is exactly what we need. We don't have anyone on board. We have little projects to do. We just
Yeah.
have catch-up work to do as far as videos, but
Yeah.
like, we get to be here in the Tuamotus again.
Finally be present and slow down and breathe and enjoy.
The beauty that's completely surrounding us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic.
So this evening we're gonna head to the beach, have a little fire with our friends, and just relax.
Damn.
Yay!
I know. We've earned it.
Good job, but I don't want high fives from you.
We high five.
You're wifey.
High five.
Oh my god, this morning is absolutely stunning. It is so calm out here right now. Really, really beautiful. It's so hard to imagine that we are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right now. Simply surrounded by a coral reef, and inside this lagoon, it is like a lake. It is so calm.
It is so calm.
Can you believe this, babe?
It's crazy. 1 mile that way across the reef is 5,000 feet deep. It's literally the middle of the ocean.
I know.
Nuts.
This is so stunning.
It's freaking gorgeous right
I
now.
love waking up to mornings like this. Oh! Wow. Wow.
It's hard to tell where the horizon is. It is beautiful right now. Real stark contrast from how it was about 6 hours ago. So we have a story for you guys. And I'm going to say something that I've heard just about every other channel say. In the heat of the moment, couldn't grab the camera. And to be honest, it didn't even cross our minds because the safety of the boat was in question and we had to just go. And so unfortunately we didn't get any footage of it, but it is a lesson. It should be a lesson because we made a mistake. So I'd love to do a better job of
sharing some of these events that happen, some of the bad things, because there are, you know, it is not all rainbows and sunshines out here. You know, there is a lot of things that go on, and again, we made a mistake.
Kind of like a series of unfortunate events.
So to lay down a little bit of history, we're in the Tuamotus Islands. They're absolutely beautiful, but the price you pay here is that it's pretty difficult to anchor. Most sandy areas that make up normally would make up a good anchorage are littered with little coral heads, and it is very difficult to anchor. That's why we float our chain. If you guys have seen any of our previous videos from here, almost everybody floats their chain here because, number one, and most importantly, we want to be, you know, good to the surrounding area, and it would be very damaging to these coral heads to drop your chain or anchor on them. Secondly, it could be very damaging to us to drop our chain and anchor on this stuff. It can be really damaging to the chain and anchor. It can be really damaging to the boat. If you get tied up on one of these things, it can be very frustrating, and it actually can be a huge safety issue if you are wrapped around one, which actually does happen quite often if you don't float your chain, and then you had to pull up anchor in a hurry, or if a storm came up, because there's no give and your boat is rocking like this, and it's been known to rip out windlasses and tear out brake chains. So anyways, in this particular spot that we're in, we're on a bit of a shelf that doesn't have many of these coral heads, which is really nice. But again, it's a very much of a shelf. Instead of a nice gradual incline up to the beach to anchor on, we have a shallow spot, and then a quite steep drop off down to about, you know, 50, 60 feet, something like that. But it is all sand. So the key is dropping the anchor right in the right spot, where, you know, you're far enough away from the shallow spot that you're not going to ground out, and then also far enough away from the shelf, because if you anchor on a steep incline, it's really difficult to get your anchor to grab properly. So you have to lay out a ton of scope. So it is challenging still, even without the coral heads. And we had found a spot that was beautiful and really great, except for one thing. We had about 350 degrees that we could swing. Yeah. There was just this one little section that had the 2 coral heads that we would hit. Now, it probably wouldn't sink the boat, but it could certainly rip off a rudder or damage our sail drives. We had anchored where the wind generally blows us off of the shore. That's how we almost always anchor. In the event that a storm comes up and blows us onshore, which doesn't happen often, but does happen, then we would be in danger, which is exactly what happened last night. A storm came up, swung around 180 degrees, and all of a sudden we're being blown onto shore, right onto the coral bommies. And here's what compounded the problem. We've had motor issues, and the motor runs fine once I get in the engine compartment and I prime it. I don't know why this is happening yet, and I haven't exactly diagnosed the exact cause of the problem, but thank God this did not happen last night. Yeah. The motor started, and it actually started to die, and my heart just sank, because it takes about 5 minutes to get in the engine compartment with my tools, open up the fuel system, bleed it, close everything down, and get the motor started.
Those small moments, they cost us a lot.
A lot, yeah. In those 5 minutes, we would have gone aground. We would have gone onto the coral head for sure. So it was a close call. If that motor would have died, it would have been, yeah. The next thing that happened is, this is our beefy Mantis anchor hook. Okay, this hooks up to our anchor chain for our bridle. Goes from the bridle to the anchor chain. And the other day, the ring came out of the pin, which just meant that it's much harder to pull. We had to use a pair of pliers. Unbeknownst to us, without that ring in there, the whole pin can fall out. I had no idea that that could happen. So Erica used a pair of pliers, pulled out the pin so it opened, set it on the trampoline, we re-anchored, and then went to hook it and was like, okay, there's no pin. There's nothing to latch it. So, you know, add it to the stress for sure. We've said this a ton before. Catastrophes don't just happen. It's not one thing that causes a catastrophe. It's almost always a series of unfortunate events, little things that add up into a catastrophe or a big event. And for sure, we saw things start to add up pretty quickly. And I guess that's just what I wanted to impart by talking about this, is how quickly things can happen. And our mistake that we have made in the past, unfortunately, and if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're doomed to repeat them.
You know, it's very unlikely that the wind comes around, but when it does, it's going to be at night in a storm, and maybe you have a motor that doesn't start, and a freaking bridle hook that, you know, doesn't work, and it took us 5-10 minutes to rig up a new hook. You know, we don't have spares of these on the boat.
Option to...
Just, yeah, do things right, learn from us, because, man, gotta stop doing this.
But the reward in the Tuamotus for the challenging parts of it is absolutely
unbelievable.
stunning.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm hot. Let's go play.
That was cool.
Freaking paradise.
We're back and it's here.
There he goes. Well, everyone, that's it for now, and we really hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, please let us know. We'd love to hear what you think. Give this video a like, and be sure to join us again next week. Thanks for watching!